Good morning, everybody. Wee Paddy from across the Shuck, and you're very welcome this morning to what for me is somewhat unusual. I haven't done a whole lot of these. This is a CRKT, but this is a 2020 model. It's just been released, and I've got one, and I'm really pleased about that because it's not a company I have done a lot of reviews on, just through the lack of. I don't know, I just haven't got round to getting a whole lot of them. But I've got this one and I am really pleased to show it to you this morning. Now, heads up, this one I got from Heine Haynes. They provided it to me free, for which I am eternally grateful. Don't forget we have a discount code down below the video for anything that you buy on Heine Haynes. Please go and check that out if you can. But what I'd said to you before, when Heine Haynes are hopefully now going to give us more, because we're using the code and we're buying more from them, they'll maybe send me the odd free knife to review. And look, I'm going to give it honest with you. I'll be honest with you. Heine Haynes have not asked for anything. They have not said, they haven't even mentioned a review. They've just let me get on with it. And for that, I appreciate it so much. If I thought the knife was going to be really bad, I would send it back to them and say, I don't want to review that. So there's my honest opinion. I wouldn't want to offend them. And I think that's only proper. And if you like, in a business sense, that's the best way to do it. If a knife's got a couple of small little faults or things that maybe I don't like, but that's not the point of a review. You decide whether you like what's down here. But if I think a knife is not something that I think you'll like, which is a big jump in my estimation, I'll not review it. But I'm going to review this because this is a really nice one. I mean, I had picked this. I was actually going to buy this and they offered to send it for free. So there you go. That tells you a little bit about this knife. And you know, most of the stuff, if I buy it, I'm going to like it. Yes, there might be faults, but all knives are like this. And we're in the higher end of budget with this one. That's probably the best way I'm going to put that. But what I did say was when they give me a knife, I'll give you a knife. Maybe not the one that they've sent me because I want to keep it for my collection. And I want to keep this one because it's new and it's relevant to what's going on at the minute. It gives me a good size comparison. But next week, I promise, I will do a giveaway for a knife of the same value as this from my collection to you. So there we go. We'll sort that out. But I don't want that to take away from this knife. So, but bear in mind that I will owe you one if I don't come back and tell me next week. And I know you will. Secondly, God, this is good. How long have I talked for already? 3 minutes, right. I done a podcast. There was a podcast put out last night by Ray over at Everyday City Carry. I'm sure a lot of you know him. But I had a real joy doing a podcast with him. It went on for about an hour and a quarter. It was just two guys chatting about knives, about life, about different things. If you would like to see it, I'll put a link down below here in the description. Pop over and see it. Have a wee look at it. See what you think of it. See what you think of Ray. He's just a cool dude. He's a New Yorker. They're having a hard time at the minute. But he's just a cool dude. Go over, see it, and give him a like and subscribe. And tell him that Paddy sent you. Now, let's get on to the knife. That was some waffle. Right, here we go. This is how CRKTs come. If you're in the UK and you haven't seen one, this is the little box. And it's the Piet. I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation, but it'll do. The Piet. And it's number 5390. Is that 5? No, it's... Yeah, I think it is a 5. 5390. Nice little box, very basic little box. Inside it you'll get your baggie that it comes with and a little blurb on CRKT. But a nice, sturdy enough little box. Nice. I mean, when you get one, it's like Benchmade, any of these companies that have been around for years. It's a box that's just recognisable straight away. So I'll put that up there. Now, here comes the knife. Isn't that nice? It's a nice small, this is a small EDC knife. This is for somebody that's maybe got, this is, how am I going to put this? This is a little knife that you can drop in your pocket. By the way, beautiful deep carry pocket clip with flat screws. Again, on a budget knife with flat screws. Let me just show you that. Slips in and out of the pocket and good really good retention. Why can't all companies do that with the screws? I don't get the thought why you would want to put rounded screws in there. It really annoys me. Lovely pop of blue colour, and that's the only colour on it, this pop of blue colour. A little bit of jimping there, which is good for when you hold it in hand. This is a one-hand opener. This is not what I would call a fidget knife. Now, I'm sure it will get looser as time goes on. I have no doubt. I have tried finger flicking it, and as of yet, I'm not going to loosen the pivot. I don't like doing that. I'll let this wear in itself. It comes with the plastic washers, which again is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with them. And being as this is an EDC knife, and a knife that you're going to use for anything, this is a pretty well prepared little knife. Let me give you a size. The size, 1, 2, 3, 3 3/4 on the handle, 1, 4, 5, 6, 6.5 inches long with a cutting edge of 2.5 inches, which perfect. That's a perfect EDC size in my book. Nice thumb hole opening, not the spidey hole, but it's just nice. You can get your, because it's so big there, you can get your the end of your thumb in and just push it up. And that is the only opening method. So this is not a fidget-friendly knife. This is a knife if you want just a functional knife. And it's solid. It feels solid. Look at that blade line up. It's completely up the centre. Completely up the centre. It's just over 3 mil thick on the spine here, which I think is brilliant for an everyday carry knife. It's thick enough that you can use it. The tip is not needle point, so you can poke and do a wee bit of light prying, poke with this knife. The blade shape is beautiful, and I don't even need to tell you, I don't think who the designer of that is, but just in case you live in a dark room, this is Jesper Voxnes, and to me it's just, that is him. That is Jesper Voxnes. It just looks exactly like his designs. Simple, elegant. I love the bow on the top of this. Beautiful. Absolutely lovely. But he does put little accents on that just make him stand out from the crowd. It's an FRN handle. And if I can... Really, really lovely texture. Grippy, but not over grippy. This is my hand. You know I got a medium to large hand. I can get 4 fingers on the back here. You could sneak up there if you wanted to, but it's you're sort of pushing against a ridge, which I would do, to be honest, if I needed to do it. But to be honest with you, medium to large hand, going back ways from that, this knife is absolutely perfect. I think probably with this one, look, I usually use small knives like this, where I can grip at the end here, and I'll do most of my cutting like this, because most of it's not going to be heavy cutting. But it's 8CR13, and that's maybe, what does it tell you there? Come on then, let's have a wee look. There we are. It's the PIET, but it's 8CR13. And look, you can look at this 2 ways. You can look at this 2 ways. 8CR13 is not the highest of grade steel. And I'm not going to argue with you. 8CR13 is easy to sharpen, easy to maintain, especially at the end of the day. If you just come home and you have one of those wee systems where you've got the rods, a couple of swipes, 8CR13 is ready for your day tomorrow. That's the bonus with 8CR13. I'm not even going to try to make it out to be some sort of super steel, but it's good enough for an EDC knife for me. I have never been found wanting with 8CR13. If you're at all panicky about it not lasting the day, you know what I'm going to say. Take a little sharpener with you if you're going to be doing heavy work. I don't do heavy work, and I know a lot of us don't. It's just an EDC knife. And the nice thing about this, it's light enough that you could probably put it in your shorts or your tracky bottoms around the house and not worry about it. Shall we see what weight it is? Now, let's just get this on. It's 2.4 ounces, so it's the same weight as a Delica. The same weight as a Delica. That's nice. Now, let's give you a couple of other knives that comes in on its... There's the honey badger. again, an 8CR13, but for me, I mean, I like the Honey Badger, it's all right, but to be the Piet is a more substantial. This to me felt very plasticky. Nothing wrong with the knife, it's a good knife, and it's actually probably better as a fidget factor knife, but it never felt good in my hand. This, on the other hand, feels solid, robust, as if you can go to work and not worry too much about it, which I'm sure you can do with a Honey Badger, no problem, but this just feels a little bit better. Here's another CRKT, and this is the Pilar. Now, the Pilar is a bit smaller. I'll show you that and bring it around the other perspective. Not that much smaller, to be honest, but a much bigger blade length on this, and that's what I like. This, again, is a nice, heavy little knife, well over 4 ounces, but again, it's a nice knife. It can be modded, you can do all the things with it. This is functional, but this is functional with design style. I genuinely love the style of this knife. I just think it looks spectacular for a budget range small EDC knife, and that's what it is. And you've got to keep that in mind, that it is just a little EDC knife with a steel that's not a super steel, but we're not going to hide that. We're not going to make, I don't think we should be making too much. I'm getting a bit tired of everybody saying you need such and such a steel. And yes, I like them steels. There's nothing wrong with them. But if you just want a functional, good-looking little knife that you can put in your pocket and you wouldn't be ashamed to pull that out in front of anybody, it's a lovely little knife. I love that little pop of colour. It really does. I think it's like aluminium. Really good pocket clip. Excellent pocket clip. So what's it like out of the box? Do you know, I haven't tried a CRKT out of the box. Let's just have a look. This is receipt paper. Wow. Oh, very good. That is a really sharp little knife. Very sharp little knife. Very, very sharp out of the box. It's a nice edge on that, actually. I'm just trying to see how it's ground. Yeah, it is. It's a finer grit that they've used on the grind than a lot of companies use. In fact, you can see that. There's nearly a bit of a shine on that, but very level in the bevel. So, good. Well done, CRKT. That's what I like to see. If you're buying a knife, it should be sharp out of the box. Now, do I recommend this? Let's get on to the price. And this is the bit that's... I don't think it should put you off. It's $44.95 over here in the UK. I know it's going to be cheaper in the States, but I'm not in the States, and we're not in the States if you're over here. But in the States, if it's, you know, cheaper than that, it's a definite just go and buy today. For here, $44.95 is the very top end of what I would pay for an 8CR13 blade steel. And I know I've just said that it's not the be-all and end, and it definitely isn't. Am I glad I've got this? Well, if I'd have paid for this, which I was going to, would I be disappointed? And the answer, I'm definitely going to tell you, is no. Because I genuinely was going to buy it. It's in hand. I can't find a fault that would tell me that I would have felt ripped off, or I would have felt that it wasn't worth it. This is lovely in hand. This is a really nice knife. I would recommend buying it, but it's at the very top. I think I wouldn't go any more than this. And don't forget, you'll get a few pound off that. You get £3 or £4 off that by using the Heine Haynes voucher. So there we go. I'm sitting here looking at it thinking 44, or, you know, say 41, 42 pound. Is it worth it, say, for 42 pound? Yeah, it is. It is. It definitely is. Here's another little knife, just sorry, before I go. There's the Gent. That's £100. And the only, you know, the difference is that, well, it's G10 and it's got S35 VN. But is that £50 difference worth it between this and this for an EDC knife? And that levels the playing field for me. That levels the playing field. I bought this. I was going to buy this. But that levels the playing field. There's two little knives that are perfect EDC knives. £50 of a difference. Would you spend the extra £50 to get this? Well, it's nearly £60 to get this. Do you know, this it sort of this is a great buy. Love this. Lovely knife. Not going to say a thing about it. Really nice knife. But I do believe I'm having a battle in my own head whether I should be saying this is not a bargain, but this is a CRKT. This is a well-made knife. I like the blade thickness. I think for EDC, I love the pocket clip. There's too many things I like about this to say it's not worth the money. So there we go. 100%. I think that's a nice buy, a nice knife. And yeah, it gets a Paddy recommendation. It gets a Paddy recommendation with no fear that if you're going to buy it, I don't think you're going to come back at me. And that's the very important thing to me. Your opinion on my reviews is the important thing to me. I think that's a lovely knife. If it's what you're looking for, if you're looking for an EDC that's nicely put away in the pocket, yeah, lovely knife. Really nice. Liner lock, and it lines up lovely. It's black, so you can't really see. I can't get to show you that. But it's easy to reach and nice to put in out of the way. Really nice knife. A lovely knife for those of us in the UK who can't carry locking knives. A lovely knife to have around the house and just easy to use. Right, I'm away. Thank you so much for listening. Take care. Have a look at that podcast if you fancy it. All the very best. Paddy's gone. Cup of tea time. Bye now.